Hello, and welcome back to Jim Snedeker Music. This week, I'd like to tell you how I wrote a song for Psalm 25. So to get started, we're going to look at three things to keep in mind when you do this. The first one is we want to start by identifying the verses we're going to use as lyrics. I mean, some people have put the whole psalm to music. I didn't opt for that. I was more interested in one little section that I could memorize and find a tune to help me in that process. So what I did is I settled on verses 12 through 15. And then I went to work identifying what verses to use as a lyric. So I had a section of 3 verses, and actually it did end up that they were in the whole song. And I came up with a melody to go with those verses. But before I got to the melody, I took a look at the rhythm, just reading the words. Is there any meter they tend to suggest? There were some words there I wanted to emphasize, fear of the Lord, and things like that you want to think about as you go through this process. The other thing I want to point out to you is that any time in this, if you're not sure you would just like to see a finished product, I've included the link to a YouTube video I did a while ago that actually is the recording of this song that I wrote for Psalm 25. So you could refer to that at any time. Again, it's just an example. The third thing to keep in mind as you do your songwriting for scripture is you want to write a singable melody. The melody is really important, because the lyrics already established make it a little bit harder. Often when you write your own lyrics, you have freedom to go wherever you want to verbally, but that's not true when you use scripture. So you want to spend extra time on that melody. You want to think about, would it be easier for your audience, based on their musical skill, to have a sequential melody where all the notes are right next to each other? Or maybe where the chorus goes to a higher pitch, keeping those notes sequentially next to each other. You'll notice that when you do that, it helps people remember the tune better. So those are pretty much my ideas for how you can get started writing a song for scripture. In my case this time, I showed you about Psalm 25. And if you go to that YouTube link that I put on the slide, you can certainly listen to that video. Also keep in mind there's an accompanying blog post, which I will put in the video description as well. So I hope you found this useful. Leave me a comment, good or bad, I'm open. If you really liked it, feel free to subscribe. And thanks for joining me today.